Testing, testing. Are we live? Are we on? I think we're live. I think we're on. Okay, I think we are live. What's going on, everyone? Let me see. Let me see. Sorry, I just had to post it up a few different places, so I had to get that start going before we started. Let me see. Let me see. Feel free to. Okay, okay. What's good? What's good, Lucky? Okay, I think we're good on the site. I think we're good on socials. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started because everybody will be able to rewatch this after anyway. Um, Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Come kick it with me and learn a few things about the music industry. My name is Monty. I'm from Virginia, currently based in Pennsylvania. And yeah, I work in music. I'm pretty much the guy behind the scenes. I pretty much love to help artists keep everything organized, be aware of how to run their business, and continue to have fun doing what they love. It's pretty simple. Um, yeah, today I'm going to pretty much break down the importance of registering music because literally taking a few minutes of your time will make you money forever. Okay, audio's a bit low. Hold on. Before I get going, let me go ahead and turn myself up one time. Thank you, Lucky. How about now? Was that better? I have to mute the live stream audio so it won't, you know, not all over the place. Okay, cool. I think we're good. I think we're good. Um, so cool. Yeah, just to kind of dive right into everything. Could be a little bit better, really. All right, how about now? Turn it up much louder. Okay, I got you. Um, well, yeah, I mean, just to give everyone some background about myself, I've been working in music for the past 8 years. And, okay, hold on, I'm getting the text messages about the audio. Okay, good. Okay. Everybody says they're good. Okay, I think we good. It's my first time doing live, by the way, so appreciate everyone's patience on this. Um, so, yeah, as I was saying, I've been working in music for the past 8 years. To kind of summarize the amount of releases I've worked on, I've kind of did a little bit of a tally. Over 250 songs I've helped truly organize, release, get out into the world. And all those artists are actually making money from those releases now. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely been quite a journey. I feel like one of the things when it comes to the music industry as a whole, no one's really eager to teach you how things work, which obviously everyone struggles because of that. So for me and my team, what we're about and what we're trying to do is just change the flow and really be the change that, should be the case anyway, which is why, we're sharing this information and just going to continue to share information as we even learn along the way. So again, thank you all for the time. So yeah, I'm going to, well, first things first, just so I know everybody's here. Who here likes money? You go ahead, put the stuff in the emojis, comment away. Let me know who likes money. I'm just curious. You know. Okay, nobody likes money so far. Okay. 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 There we go. There we go. Um, well, yeah. I mean, when it comes to music, a lot of artists would, and it's easy to assume once you upload music on. Oh, what up, Slow? It's good to have Slow on here. Slow was also a part of the project Home Buddies. Okay. Hey, shout out Slow. Um, love the remix, bro. Hey, so grateful to have you on the project too. Um, okay, let me stop fanning out. Let me stop fanning out. All right. So uh, okay, cool. Um, yeah. So just to kind of dive right into it. So when it comes to music, most of the time, everyone will create a song and upload it to whoever the distributor is, and that's how they would make a decent amount of money from just that portion. But there's actually quite a bit, there's quite a few different organizations to truly capitalize and collect every single royalty and dollar that you deserve on that one particular song. So I'm going to be walking you guys through the different organizations so you guys are aware of where to register, how to register, why are there so many different organizations. Frankly, I don't even know why there's so many, but that's just how everything's set up. I feel like that's built there on purpose. But we'll kind of dive into it to kind of dissect everything so you guys are completely aware and can actually start earning all the royalties you deserve from your work. So hold on, let me try. I've been, again, testing out the live. Let's go ahead and try the next transition. Let me see. All right. Okay, here we go. So I spent some time. Honestly, I didn't have too much time because obviously we had the release going on this weekend. And so I was posting and stuff, again, stuff organized and stuff. But I was able to create a really quick layout and somewhat of a breakdown of what the process is like once you create just one single song and how you should be getting paid from it. So in the chat, actually, what are some distributors that you guys all use? It could be TuneCore, it could be DistroKid. I know those are kind of like the go-tos. All right, well, I'm just going to keep on moving. So, I think, hold on, it's a little bit black. Okay, so as you all know, when you upload music onto a TuneCore or a DistroKid, you're essentially getting royalties from the sound recording side. As you all know, sound recording, aka the master, so many different terms for it, but it's all the exact same thing. That is literally the sound, the audio file itself. There's two parts to a song. That is the one piece of the sound itself. The other portion is the composition and the lyrics. So technically it's melody and lyrics. But anyway, we'll get back into that in a second. But again, as you all are aware, I'm sure most of you are familiar with, DistroKid, TuneCore, for example. We use Stem for the Play Nice release. I prefer Stem just essentially because they split the royalties, so everyone involved is taken care of and paid for. I mean, it's paid their percentage, and yeah, Stem. For us, I've been working with them for the past 5 or 6 years, and I know they had quite a bit of things. I believe last year when they did the whole Thanos snap, but outside of them, DistroKid is also a good platform in regards to splitting royalties. So as you all are working on different songs with one, different with a, whether it's a producer or a vocalist, everyone is able to split those revenue and split those royalties and get paid on time every month. I don't know about you all, but from working in the industry, that's also a huge headache in the industry is waiting to get paid. Unfortunately, for the major labels, for example, sometimes you don't get paid until a year or two later. So for me, anything to kind of speed along that process helps quite a bit. So and again, today I'm going to be just going over things from a completely independent standpoint. So yeah, does anyone use TuneCore or DistroKid or anything like that? Okay, I see Insightful says he uses Stem. Okay, yeah, Repost Network is another one. Yep, that's a good one, Pandy. Repost is definitely another distributor as well. So cool. Yep. So they help you collect again on the sound recording royalty side of things. Exactly. What's interesting though is again, this is just one portion. Okay, cool. Cool, Chris. Yeah, there's definitely a few different options out there for sure. So again, this is just one portion, and also take into account of, I believe Repost, I believe they either charge you or take a small percentage for their work and for their distribution side. So you should definitely take a look at that, because unfortunately in the music industry, every organization is gonna take a small percentage, if you will, obviously for their work and stuff. So keep that in mind. But anyway, when it comes to sound recording royalties, there's again a few different organizations to be mindful of and a few places you should register. So has anyone heard of Sound Exchange? No worries if you haven't, just curious. Has anyone heard of it? No? Okay, no worries. So Sound Exchange is an organization, believe it or not, a nonprofit organization, and they essentially help artists. Nah, new. Wow. Okay, great. Let me put all y'all on. Great. So Sound Exchange literally is an organization that helps collect royalties from interactive radio. So when your music is played on Sirius XM or Pandora, that's how you receive those royalties. The interesting fact about that though is if you don't register on there, you will never see that money. And believe it or not, they actually give that money away to major labels. So from your work, I don't understand how it's law, but it is actually law that Sound Exchange is not able to hold the money for a certain time period. So if you don't register between, I believe, 3 to 5 years for your royalties, they give them away. Simple as that. So Sound Exchange again is kind of a hidden, for certain artists. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. At the end of the stream, by the way, I will be providing all the links on how to register, where to register, and feel free to hit me up as well if you need help with that process, because it is unfortunately extremely tedious and long. Which I believe it's also built on purpose, but again, I'll be able to walk you all through that process because that's literally what I've been learning over the past 8 years and helped so many artists register. So, again, you can receive all the royalties from your work. This is all based off of just one song. You should be getting your money from a repost, from Sound Exchange, and then there's a few more. We're going to keep on going. So, does everyone follow so far, though, with the interactive radio, like Pandora, Sirius XM? So, again, that's just a whole separate pie, if you will. Just want to make sure I'm not going too fast or too slow. Okay. And one thing to note when it comes to Sound Exchange actually is each one of these organizations, they do take a small percentage. So believe it or not, Sound Exchange does not show it on their website. I had to actually call and ask them, and they said it ranges between 5 and 7%. I don't even know why it ranges, but it does. Um, that's just how it works, apparently. It's one of those things. Um, but okay, moving on to the next one. Has anyone ever heard of neighboring rights? Just another question. I don't want to assume, if somebody's heard of it, they can drop some gems. No? Okay. Um, okay, cool. No worries, no worries. So neighboring rights is actually a variety of different organizations that collect sound recording. Okay, we got more people joining. Okay, so neighboring rights is again a variety of different organizations that collect sound recording royalties. So I feel like in the U.S. we're constantly taught, oh, register on ASCAP or BMI, and that's how you receive your publishing royalties when your music is played at a store or a restaurant. This is true for the U.S., but in other countries, they actually receive sound recording royalties when your song is played at a store or a restaurant and things like that. Unfortunately, in the US, we don't recognize those royalties. I don't know why. Again, a lot of these things, I don't know why that's the case, but it just is. So, yeah, that's how that one works. So, the cool thing, I guess, that kind of simplifies things for us is Sound Exchange does collect neighboring rights royalties in certain territories, but they do not collect them in all territories. So, for example, I believe they do collect in Netherlands, but I don't believe they collect in. Hold on, I have another place I can actually break it down, just so I can say it correctly the first time. Okay, so for example, in Malaysia, Sound Exchange does not collect royalties. So when your music is played at a restaurant or store, Sound Exchange unfortunately does not have a deal with Malaysia, so they're not able to collect your royalties when your song is played there. Let me know if I'm moving too fast, by the way. I really want to make sure everyone's understanding this properly. Let me know if it's a good pace or if I'm going too fast. Okay, cool. Appreciate you, Pandy. Um, so I'm also showing a different organization on here as well. There's another one actually based out in the UK because I work with uh, Xylo, who's based out in the UK, and I also work with a few different artists who are also in Africa. So, for example, Tay, Iwar, and Xylo are both a part of PPL. And PPL is essentially the sound exchange for those territories. So they're able to collect in a lot of different territories around the world. So you don't need to register for both per se. You could just pick one or the other. I'm not gonna lie, on a super detailed level, I've now crunched down the differences between both and which one is better for certain territories. But that's just a lot more work, honestly. So just to keep everything super simple, super streamlined, I would recommend, based on where you're living and where you're at, I'd recommend registering on either Sound Exchange if you're in the U.S. or PPL if you're in the U.K. or other areas. I'm sure there's other music, organizations. Like I believe there's a different one in Canada, but again, this is definitely something to look into to make sure you're claiming the interactive radio and neighboring rights in other territories, because that's money in your pockets from, again, the same song. So, any questions so far about that? Super open to any questions. Okay, I'm gonna assume no, or not yet. Well, cool. I'll just keep on moving. Um, so again, if everyone on this live or anyone that tunes in later on, damn, late as always, Jay. It's okay. Um, um, uh, by the way, again, if you're an independent artist, one thing to keep in mind is you will be claiming as an artist, but also as a copyright owner, because you own your work. one thing that I help a lot of artists set up and help them organize is, help them essentially create a business, and that is essentially, it is also their label as well. So their label owns their work. You know what I mean? So to put it in perspective, not trying to put everyone's business out there, but I mean, I guess it would just help with the example. So it's just like, if you look at the small details for Xylo, her business is Xylo World. So will the session be posted? Yes, it will be posted after. So Xylo World is the label. Xylo World releases her music, but that's also the copyright owner for that particular work. It just helps with the entire structure thing, and it also kind of plays the game when it comes to the music industry. It is important to know how to honestly have that set up, so you're able to have a clean, solid structure and foundation for your business as an artist, and an independent artist at that. One thing to note though, as well as why that is set up the way it is with these organizations, for example, between Sound Exchange and PPL, they both take there's an automatic portion that's split between both. Hold on, let me move this. Can I edit this right now? No, I'm in presentation mode, whatever. So I'm trying to keep this simple, y'all. I'm really trying, but I nerd out about this stuff, so just bear with me. So there's two portions to Sound Exchange and PPL. There's the artist portion, and they automatically, for some reason, have a label portion, because they always have assumed artists would be signed to a label, if you will. So again, if that's going to be the case, that's fine. Just sign to yourself, sign to your own business, so that way you're able to receive that other 50% and that other portion. Okay, cool. So again, moving forward, for all those different independent artists, make sure that, and again, I'll be able to help you guys through it. I'm going to hopefully one day create a whole website breaking it down detail by detail. But yeah, this is literally how it works. So you have to claim it as an artist. So it could be Pandy, for example, as the artist name, and then, Pandy LLC as the label name. Obviously, Pandy, I'm sure you'll come up with a much better name than I would. But just wanted to give you a rough example of how that can be broken up and how you can truly receive the royalties that you deserve from just those organizations, by the way. This is just a full breakdown of only the sound recording. I haven't even gotten into when you write lyrics or compose a song. This is strictly sound recording. So the audio file itself, and again, at the end of this, I'll provide all the links on where to register, how to register, so you guys can, do this and get to work. Okay, yeah, Pandy LLC. Okay, so any questions so far? Come on, I'm definitely open to questions. So I want to make sure everyone understands this, gets it. Before we move on to the next phase, this is just phase one. I feel you, Pandy. That's something we're gonna have to look into. Because I'm curious. I honestly don't know. I believe you should just be able to have a legal guardian or your parent help you out with that one. But I don't think that's going to be too long of a process. Unfortunately, actually, with Sound Exchange, and especially with PPL, my God, they have you like sometimes fax information or try to force you to do different things. But it should be much more seamless. But unfortunately, it's just what it is right now. Well, okay. Shout out to all the questions I just received. Amazing. Thank you guys. Okay, cool. I guess that solves it on the sound recording side. Yeah, I hope this graph was not too confusing. I may share this when it's over. I just feel like it's not pretty enough, but whatever. Keep it moving. Let me see. Okay. So diving into composition and lyrics. This is literally, publishing is a very interesting one, because there's so many different ways it can be done, and there's so many different levels. Even actually, me and Najee discussed different levels, because typically composition as a whole is broken down typically between the lyrics 50% and the composition or the beat maker side of it 50%. So that's typically how it's broken up. One thing to also be aware of is the arrangement, because someone is arranging the song a certain way, and why, and that does contribute to the song as a whole. So that's a very, very interesting method. I believe in other countries they already take that to heart. So I believe they also carve out a portion for arrangement, actually. But again, typically it's just basically 50% writing the lyrics and then 50% composition. Yeah, that's typically how that part is broken down. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. So who here has heard of a PRO, like ASCAP or BMI? Anyone? Or CSAC or PRS or there's a lot of them. There's literally, I believe there's one in almost every country actually. So I don't know all of them. Heard of, no idea fully what they do. Okay. Let me see. All right, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Not familiar. Okay. Wonder on BMI. So essentially, these organizations are performance rights organizations. They help artists collect royalties. That's essentially their whole job, is collecting royalties when your music is played at at stores, at restaurants, in films, in movies, and different things like that. Those organizations help collect it. The thing with it is you need to register. It's like, again, one of those cases, you need to register to get paid for those songs. So I would definitely and highly recommend you all look up the PRO in your area. Figure out the best one. Honestly, there isn't that big of a difference between each one, but it's more so a preference. But I do recommend each one of you that are trying to dig into that should, and figure out which one makes the most sense for you. So yeah, just to kind of dig into it, they collect performance royalties. Dang, I should have broken down all the details of what that even means. See, this is what I'm talking about. I need to make a different one. Let me see. I have like a little thing of notes. Okay. Wait, no, is that it? Okay, yeah. So like radio airplay, television, and your song played at venues, that's considered performance royalties. That's how that side of thing works. But yeah, believe it or not, this is a whole other part of the game as well. There's two sides to this. There is, I don't know why things were structured the way it was. I believe the industry always assumes that an artist will be signed to a different organization, or their rights will be controlled by a different organization. But again, there's two sides to this, unfortunately. There's the writer side, and there is also the publishing side. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of like a publishing organization, so there's two sides to it. So when your song is played on the radio, or if it's in a film or things like that, that performance royalty is split to the writer as well as the publisher. And this is where things get a little interesting, because it's like, again, thinking of it from an independent perspective, it makes sense, and I definitely recommend you all look into creating your own for now. But I'm not going to say no one should or should not sign a publishing deal. That's completely your decision. But I think for the time being, it makes sense to create a publishing entity, so you again can start to receive the royalties you deserve from your own work. Um, so there's a few ways to kind of go about that, though. You don't physically have to uh, create a whole new LLC and then go about that whole process. Believe it or not, there are different organizations that kind of help with that. Um, Again, just to be fully transparent, for the majority of Play Nice artists, they're on an organization called Songtrust, and Songtrust is they structure themselves specifically for independent artists, and they take a small percentage, obviously, but they essentially are adminning the publishing share, so allowing Xylo or Naji or Insightful collect their publishing royalties without having to create a whole organization. Wait, so if you don't have these extra towing business, you can't claim. So okay, feng shui. Let me break that down. So you don't need to create a dummy organization, if you will, or not a dummy. What place would be traditionally considered publisher? Okay, so let me break it down. For the publishing side, there's organizations in place, so you don't have to create another entity. You don't have to do that. You can just work with an organization, for example, a Songtrust, to collect your royalties for you. So you don't have to create a whole entity for that. The only reason why I do recommend that for a label side, it's so interesting because it's just like the way it's structured, there isn't, I believe, quote unquote, a middle organization like a Songtrust to help you collect that, if you will. Plus, you don't really need it. You just need a label to pretty much help you out with it. With publishing, on the other hand, if you were to create your own publishing entity, you have to go out and make the deals with a lot of different organizations that, frankly, we wouldn't be able to make those type of deals. Being an independent publisher, you could, but it'll be super long and super tedious. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question about that. That was a great question, though. So yeah, you don't need a quote unquote different entity to collect your publishing share. I would recommend just having and working with an organization that can help you collect those royalties that, again, you deserve, because as you see, it's split, and okay, actually, just to backtrack. See, this is trying to keep it simple, y'all. To backtrack a little bit, there are two sides, as I was sharing, to composition and lyrics. There's there's performance and royalties, which is, like I was saying, the radio airplay, and there's also something called mechanicals. Okay, so mechanicals gets a little bit deeper, but it's just like when your song is sold, either digitally or physically, there's a royalty to that as well. So think about it from, rather it's a vinyl, a CD, or even Spotify or Apple Music. They are required to pay a mechanical royalty. But this is one of the interesting tricks of the game that, again, just learning. They don't pay out the writers. So even if you're a writer and you wrote those songs, they don't pay you out. They only pay you out if you have a publisher. Sorry, I just saw a question. I'm gonna get to you, Rebel. I'm gonna get to you. So does everyone understand that, though? For the most part, it's like if you do not have a publisher, you won't fully see all of your mechanical royalties at all. So I highly recommend looking into the different organizations that can help with that. I believe Songtrust is one that we use. I believe CD Baby has one too, and I believe TuneCore is now trying to step into that business as well. So again, I'd recommend doing the research amongst yourself and figure out which one makes the most sense, and then kind of go from there. And hold on, I did see a question. Let me ask: does Songtrust collect international radio? Rebel, I believe so. Yeah, because they're your publisher. So yes, it depends on their deals in those different territories. So, and they do have a full breakdown on their website of all the different territories that they collect on. So yes, I believe so. As the publisher, they would be collecting your share for that. Yes. All right. One thing actually I would also recommend for you all, again, I'm going to provide the links at the end of this, is if you sign up on just, I'll provide the link for it specifically, but Songtrust provides one of the best music industry Bibles, if you will, in my opinion, because they do a thorough breakdown of the music industry as a whole. And I recommend every artist, rather you want to sign or don't want to sign with someone, everyone should just read it, frankly, because it's just super straightforward. um, and it provides just a ton of insight on how the music industry works. So okay, I think that summarized that one up. Honestly, I think any questions so far? Any questions at all? Like I'm super serious. My door is open. Any sections you need me to kind of dive into? This is, in summary, this is, it looks like a crazy web right now, but these are just the organizations and how it kind of, the web, if you will, of how the royalties work. And if you don't register, you won't get paid or your money's going to be given away. One or the other. One or the other. Yes, I believe it's the Modern Guide on their site. Correct, Francois. And so, question, like, how long do you all think it takes to register all of this music? It sounds like a lot, right? But how long do you think it takes just to register just one song? Anyone know? Anyone know? Like a month? Huh. Good question, Lucky. Oh wait, I didn't think about it from that perspective actually. Um, a week? Good question. Um, okay, okay. Actually, these are great questions. So to register itself on the organization. So for example, through Songtrust, we're able to register, and it actually takes roughly like maybe it takes like a few weeks for it to register because they have to put it on all these different organizations and then let them know like, hey, this is J Rob's song or this is such and such song and these are all the different people who worked on it and we need to know who to pay out. It takes, I believe, like roughly 4 to 5 months for those songs to be fully registered, and then to receive their first royalty from those songs probably take about 9 months. Um, which is crazy how long it takes. But again, they need to know who to pay out. So it's crazy how that all works. But to register itself, yeah, exactly. So most of the time, so this is what's interesting. For major label artists, there's a lot of artists who, okay, for producers, for example, they are disrespected so much and it pisses me off because it's like they work so hard, and if they're only dependent, if they're only dependent, I'll answer your question slow. If they're only dependent on just your PRO royalty, you have to wait, 9 months, and that's if the label or artist registers a song properly when they're supposed to, that they'll finally start to receive those royalties. Because frankly and unfortunately, most producers don't make a lot of money on the sound recording side. They should, but they don't make as much as the industry's quote unquote standard. So, which, again, we're changing, and a lot of independent artists are changing that, as well. So hold on, let me answer these questions real quick. Are they supposed to do all that back counting? So Feng Shui is an interesting question. Certain organizations will go back and backtrack certain songs that were released. Some organizations will not. So for example, for PPL, like the Sound Exchange and internationally in the UK, if you don't register, sorry, we didn't know who to pay. You're not receiving any backtracking of your music at all. And again, that's on the neighboring right side of things. But hey, we didn't know who to pay, so all that money is gone. It was given away. It disappears. I don't know how that works. But again, that's on the sound recording side. On the PRO side, there is a little bit more leniency. Like they're able to help with backtracking those songs. So let's say none of you have registered any songs beforehand. You're able to, as soon as you, partner up with the PRO or a publisher, you can start to backtrack certain records. But yes, it will be quite some time before you register. To register a song itself, it honestly isn't that long. It probably takes roughly like 10-15 minutes to do. But the time span in which you'll see the results of that is what's, extremely long, unfortunately. So hold on, let me get to your question. Okay, so slow. I'm a nerd. Just straight up. That's how I learned how all this works. I honestly went to school for filmmaking. I had, I had. It's funny. I went to school for filmmaking and was really diving into storytelling as a whole. And then while I was in school, I kind of created a tech company, and that led me a whole different, journey in my life. And then from there, I started working with an independent label about 7 years ago. And from working with that label and building it up, from the ground up, and also being in charge of everything, grateful to the team there. They allowed me to just spread my wings and learn along the way. So I've been able to witness and see quite a bit, from good deals to bad deals to different people getting screwed over and learning how things work. But it's like, honestly, once you start to learn the basics, it's not that complicated. It's very straightforward. If people would just be transparent about things, a lot of these different issues that happen in the music industry can be solved with just a simple conversation, honestly. So to answer your question, I did go to business school for it. I would say, honestly, we call it selection university. So that's honestly how I learned so much. That's how I was able to learn and dig into how the music industry works as a whole. True, feng shui, but I do believe that if we have a better educated music industry, we'll have a better music industry as a whole. Like that's thoroughly what I believe. And I just, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? The more that artists learn how this part of things work, it won't be that complicated. Next time you have a conversation with someone and you two work on a song, it's like, great, you already know how it's gonna work. So the business side won't complicate things. It won't be kind of a gray subject. If you know what I mean, it won't be like, oh, I don't know how we're gonna handle this or who's gonna do this. It's like, cool, this is the percentages, this is how we're gonna do it, this is what's fair, and this is how things can kind of move forward. But yeah, I feel like I do think that is the incentive of how it should be, though. It's just us just being the change, honestly, and showing a different way, because it's like, believe it or not, a lot of major, and I'm not gonna get into detail. Sometimes people don't like my way of thinking, so it's okay. I always do things with a smile, though. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm here and available. Let me go through my notes, because I just want to make sure I tackled everything I wanted to go over today. This is just, again, music registration side of things. So it seems like a lot of different organizations, but should be able to post this info. Yes, Wonder. I really want to spend some time and work on a whole site to help people do this. I just need to have the time to do it, honestly. But I think this video would be a nice process. Yes, Rebel. Yes, it is possible to pre-register songs. So obviously actually, yes, you can do that. I would actually recommend having things ready once you at least have the album scheduled, because there is some information you'll need. For example, you will need the ISRC and UPC information on hand to fully register songs. So I recommend at least having it scheduled for release and then register. So just to kind of share just how I do things, for example, it's like, once we have Play Nice, for example, like obviously you've all seen we did 9 weeks of songs. We mapped all of that out months in advance. So it's like, all of those releases, like the original 9, were already scheduled and registered and everything. So part of my flow was, once the music was done, then we scheduled it on STEM, we uploaded it, got an ISRC, got a UPC, and then I've actually built out a few different systems, and we would register that essentially on, Sound Exchange or PPL, as well as ASCAP, BMI, Songtrust, etc. The cool thing, actually, I will say about Songtrust is, once you register there, I feel like I'm promoting them, but I'm not because they haven't cut me the check. But with Songtrust, once you register once on there, they will actually register for the artist on ASCAP and BMI, so you don't have to double your work. So for us, and pretty much for me, it's just like, cool, Songtrust, PPL, and Songtrust, PPL, and Sound Exchange. Those are pretty much my hold on, let me see. Wait, Pandy, Sound Exchange is free, actually. It's free to a degree. They take a percentage. But no, there aren't any costs. I'm going to make sure I link you up to the places, the proper links. I don't know where you looked up, but yeah, that's how it works. Maybe you're thinking about it from the cost annually as in like their percentage, maybe that percentage take. But that's how it works for these organizations. Any other questions? Any other questions? Wow, I'm literally about to. Okay, I'm surprised I covered everything. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I didn't have enough time, but I think I did. I think I did okay. Um, well, I mean, if no one has any more questions, um, again, I will be providing links at the end of this as well in the description, so you guys will be able to do your own research, dig into different things, register as well, and yeah, this was a very simple and brief um, breakdown of the importance of registering music because again, you guys should be getting paid for the work that you're putting in. It's really simple. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your time. And major shout outs to everyone showing love to Play Nice and what we're doing and having fun with and just having fun with us. So truly, truly, truly appreciate everyone's love and support for real, for real. All right. What do you think? When you do the links, can you do me a breakdown on what they're for? Yeah, I got you, Pandy. Yeah, I mean, man, y'all really gonna force me just to kind of build this whole site up now. Hey, that's dope, man. Shout out to SoundCloud. So let me give you a funny story about the SoundCloud real quick before we go. The SoundCloud is actually how it had so many followers, but it's actually an old like music nonprofit charity that I created years ago called Visual Vibes. That's why you still find some of those older musics on there. But I just rebranded it into Play Nice because I was like, I might as well do that instead of creating a whole new SoundCloud. But anyway, funny little tidbit story. Yes, the video will be available after it's live. I'm not gonna front. I may take it down later because I may just want to make a better one. But whatever. I'm critical of myself, just so you guys know. That's what it is. But anywho, thank you all for your time. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you. I will continue to, maybe I should do this a little bit more. You guys chill in Discord. Yes, we will be hopping on Discord a lot more. We're going to be doing a lot more things engaging, you know what I mean? Especially since we all going to be, inside the house quite a bit longer. So, yeah, we're going to be seeing y'all a little bit more. So, anywho, I'm done. I feel like I'm rambling on. But holla at y'all. Thank y'all. Talk to y'all soon.